James and his family had been suffering from some form of haunting for the past few months, and none of them had any clue why the spirits had decided to choose them of all families. They never visited locations with paranormal connections, had barely any passed away family members, and were even strong believers in God. So if you could bet on a family to experience these kinds of things, it would not be them. However, one fateful night when everyone except James was asleep, he was able to capture the phenomenon that defied all of the odds.
Come on, I want you to do something. Oh, I hope I caught that. That was weird. Thank you for doing that. I just need you to do something else. Are you just playing with me? We're gonna keep the camera right there on that thing.
Somehow, the pan from James's daughter's toy set dropped to the floor without any probable cause, which certainly took poor James back. Instinctively, he went to go and investigate the surrounding area of the toy to find its cause, but to his dismay, nothing appeared. In October of 2010, a camera was set up in an English classroom to record a teaching session for evaluation purposes. The teacher had come under a lot of scrutiny recently for their students not passing as many exams as they should have been, so the principal wanted a good look into what could potentially be causing this, and who was to blame. For months before this recording, tons of paranormal events had been happening in this classroom, but the teacher dismissed it and pinned the cause to the children, causing too much movement and things of the sort. This makes a lot of sense, considering what happened in the clip that you are about to see.
I'll take this on tonight.
Okay guys, remember what I said this morning then? I said the camera's not there, that's just there so that my boss can see what we've been doing in our lessons. Right, what were we talking about this morning? What have we been doing this morning?
Safety in the community.
Excellent, thanks. Yeah, safety in the community. Okay, good, Stephen. So we've been talking about dangers that we might face when we're out and about. What dangers might we... Oh, fix it. Stephen, don't do that, please. It's distracting. Right, okay, well, whoever it was, don't do that, please. Go on.
Drugs.
Drugs, excellent. Yeah, drugs. Okay, so that's one thing. Someone give me another one then.
Strangers.
Strangers.
I just moved out home.
It definitely seemed that way, didn't it? Right. What we're going to do, we need to... I tell you what, guys. Let's just go out for a minute. Follow me.
Unfortunately, the teacher's lesson was interrupted by paranormal activity, and at first, he actually assumed it was the children playing some sort of prank on him. Worried about his job, but more concerned about the children in these classes, the teacher brought the video forward to the principal, who was surprisingly supportive. She explained that he did the right thing to evacuate them from the class, and whilst he would still be under close monitoring, she was proud of him for making that call. I wish that teacher and the children the best of futures. Like our last clip, the following paranormal event was not a standalone incident and involved a boy who had been experiencing a lot of ghostly scenarios in recent times. His name was Duncan, and like any regular teenager, his main occupations at the time consisted of college and football. Supposedly, his house had been haunted for quite some time, leading up to the clip, and him, his parents, and his cat were all becoming stressed out about it. This footage was an attempt to catch the spirit in its acts on camera for the world to see, and this is how it went.
Dude, I swear to God, I think there's something going on in my house. Like, this is gonna be ridiculous. It's unbelievable. Something's freaking my cat out. There's like, oh my God, I think it's about last night. Oh my God, but there's like something going on in my house. I swear to God, like, I've been hearing noises and shit. Like, I have a feeling it has something to do with that Durumasan bath challenge I did last night or something. I don't know what's going on. This is really weird. I don't even get it. Oh my God! Happened right on camera. I don't know if I caught that or not. Oh my God. I swear to God, something's freaking my cat out and whatnot. I don't know if I saw that on camera. It happened right in front of me as I was recording. Oh, hell no.
Strangely, the toy plane jumped from underneath the desk without any sort of human interaction, and the likelihood is that this was due to a ghost. Duncan was fortunate to have captured this on camera because he finally had the evidence to contact a priest about banishing evil spirits from his home, and this process is currently being carried out. The following video started off with an innocent boy filming his house to prove to his parents that he didn't throw a house party whilst they were on vacation, but it slowly turned into the most horrifying night of his life. His name was Neil, and his parents left him in charge of the house whilst they were traveling all across America. They didn't trust him and demanded a video every evening to prove that nothing fishy was going on, and the clip I am going to show you is one of these recordings. Have a watch.
Ito yung camera. Ito. Kalilipat lang kasi namin dito eh. May mahingi na yun. Walang mag-isa dito eh. Nasa ilaw. Wala yun. Na yun. Tay, sira ang cellphone ko. Wala. Wala yun. Sa tilaw. Wala namang tao eh. Wala.
Items started to move all around the house without any known reason, and after sending this to his parents, they instantly booked a flight back down to Spain, where they all lived. It took 2 days for them to arrive back home, but when they did, they rushed straight to their telephone to call someone they knew very well, who happened to be a ghost hunter. We received no updates from here, because unlike Neil, his parents liked to keep things low-key. On November 13th of 2024, Juan Carlos was relaxing on his day off from work when someone or something took it upon itself to end this state of relaxation. The time was 11:45 at night, and Juan was catching up on the recent episodes of his favorite show. All seemed calm and unthreatening until a persistent knock could be heard. Juan went to check behind the door, and nobody was on the other side, to which he went back to relaxing. For some odd reason, though, the knocking started again, and this time he took his mobile device with him to check.
Son las 1 de la mañana, mi gente. Miren, son las 1 de la mañana. Y están tocando la puerta de mi casa, señores. Están tocando la puerta de mi casa. ¿Quién es? Señores, miren. Ay, ¿quién es? señores, miren. Están tocando la puerta de mi casa. Y no sé quién es, miren. No sé quién es, señores. Son las 1 de la mañana, mi gente. Y me encuentro en el cementerio, en la puerta. Ay, Dios mío, Señor, la sangre de Cristo tiene poder. Dios mío. ¿Quién es? ¿Quién es? O sea, miren, que no hay nadie, señores. No sé quién es que está tocando la puerta de mi casa, señores. No sé lo que es. Oh, Dios mío. Señores. Señores, por favor, oren por mí, por favor, ayúdenme, señores. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder. Ay, señores, miren, sí, miren, quiero que camine en el 6, señores. Quiero que camine en el 6, señores. Hay algo en el 6, señores. Hay algo en el 6, señores. Oh, papá Dios, ayúdenme.
Juan responded extremely fast to the knocking, so I refused to believe that any human could have run away in time to avoid being caught, if this was a game of ding-dong ditch. The only logical solution to this is that some sort of spirit was trying to disturb Juan's peace, and if that was its goal, it most certainly succeeded. At 1:21 in the morning, most people would be asleep, and this was the situation for Caroline. Ironically, Caroline lived in Carolina in a small house which she was only renting due to a poor financial situation. Recent residents of the house had never reported anything weird or to take note of other than a past pest infestation, but the owners claimed that there was no risk of this happening again. Eager for a home, Caroline started living in the home, and this brings us to the day that she was asleep because for some odd reason, an unpredictable event occurred.
Like a loud boom. I was literally in a dead sleep. You can hear the girls laughing, but I don't know what it was. It was just something loud, and it woke me up. And now my room is creeping me out. There's like something going, I don't know. I'm gonna let you guys listen to it. I'm gonna shut up now, and hopefully I can catch it on camera. Okay, I flipped the camera. Did you hear that? Oh my god. Okay, this is my room, and it's dark. I'm gonna turn the light on a little. Okay, that was my heater that turned on. That's the girls. Okay. I keep hearing, oh my god, my eyes are watering so bad. I'm gonna sit up. Whatever's in here, you are not welcome. Please leave. Oh, my eyes are watering so bad. My dog's about to get up and go crazy. My dog is just staring right over there somewhere. And it sounds like someone's walking in my room. I'm gonna shut up now. You guys tell me if you hear anything besides the girls. My eyes are watering so bad because it scared me so bad. I don't hear anything anymore. When I first turned it on, I did. Let me turn the camera on again. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. You are not welcome here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I knew it was going to start getting crazy here. I hope you guys heard that.
If you were listening closely, some form of footsteps could be heard, and they definitely weren't coming from the girls' room. These footsteps were not your usual ones too, because they were rather aggressive and felt like some sort of soldier were marching, which could likely be what the spirit in question was when it was in a human form. After ending the recording, Caroline cried for a while and felt too frightened to leave her bed. We will certainly include more of her clips in the future if you want to follow her story, so be sure to subscribe. On January 9th this year, Amanda and her daughter Steph were in the house together when something absurd happened out of the blue. The two of them had just finished eating lunch, and the daughter, Steph, volunteered to do the dishes whilst Amanda laid down. This was quite wholesome to see a daughter catering for her mother, but of course a ghost had to swoop in and ruin this moment. Just to inform you, you have to listen very closely to understand what happened in this clip, so pay attention. Right at the end of the clip, some sort of growling noise could be heard, and Steppo claimed that it happened right behind her. Of course, Amanda didn't believe this at first, because it was such a strange statement, but after reviewing the footage, she had no choice but to trust that what happened was true. Babies are undeniably the cutest things on our planet, but all it takes is one little action to change that, upset them. A baby's cry is super disturbing because nobody wants to see someone at such a young stage in life in such grief. So when Juan, the person who filmed the following footage, heard a baby crying in the public bathroom, he had to go and check if it was okay.
No. No. Hola. No mames. ¿Se escucha un bebé? No mames. Oh, güey, ¿se escucha un bebé? No mames. Güey. No mames. ¿Un bebé?
To his utter disbelief, there was no baby to be found, and as if this wasn't weird already, the doors started to swing open and close to prove a point to Juan. This place was haunted, and he needed to make an exit. He would have been stupid to stay, thank God he wasn't. Martin, a cybersecurity specialist, had lost his job due to the numerous layoffs from the COVID-19 tech breakdown. For 2 years, he had been looking for a full-time job that would help him provide for his family. He had taken a few part-time gigs here and there to help him stay afloat, but he was barely surviving. With a pregnant wife and a 2-year-old to take care of, there was no way he could keep up with just gigs. One random Sunday afternoon, he decided to hack into a company he knew that handled the mail for most of the states in his region. It wasn't a big company, but he had a plan: hack the company and ask for a job. It worked. They realized they needed better cybersecurity infrastructure to keep their customers safe. They asked him to come over to their headquarters a few miles away. That meant one thing: Martin needed to sell his house. He put it up on an auction website, as he didn't want the hassle that real estate agents brought with them. The next day, he was on a video call with a prospective buyer when this happened.
Angelika, co robisz? Angelika? Co tu robisz? Co robisz?
Czytam.
Co tam się stało? Spadły ten... Sztućce na podłogę.
Ale jak spadło?
Widziałaś to? Ja pierdolę!
First, there was a slow noise coming from his bedroom that seemingly only he could hear. Then some utensils in the kitchen and the vase in his living room literally started moving before his eyes. Martin couldn't help but freak out. He had no idea that his house had poltergeist activity. The next day, he took out a loan from his friend and moved to the company headquarters with his wife and kids. He was sure he didn't even want to sell the house anymore. He just didn't want anything to do with spirits and all that paranormal stuff. Alexis had just moved into a new apartment in a new city. He had moved away from his wife and kids after losing everything he had built to her in a divorce case. He knew he would lose. He had cheated on Kira numerous times and wasn't surprised when the judge gave his verdict. However, that wasn't his major problem right now. Something else was. He had a poltergeist problem in his home and needed to solve it as soon as possible. He had noticed it 2 weeks after he renovated the rundown house. It was in terrible shape when he bought it, but it was cheap, and he just needed to spend a few $100s on renovations to get it into great condition. However, a few weeks in, he started noticing strange things. First, it was the flickering lights, then random banging on doors at night, and eventually, a total thrashing of his house at some point. He searched online and found a world-renowned exorcist who promised to get rid of all sorts of paranormal activity. All Alexis had to do was upload a video of the activity and send it to the exorcist for analysis. Alexis was able to capture this footage on 2 cameras. he heard some noise in his kitchen cabinet, a slow, somewhat rhythmic banging that seemed to be saying something. He checked it out with a camera in hand and sent it to the exorcist. After 2 weeks, he received this message. Run for your life. These types of activities are from territorial principalities. They own the house and I cannot help you. Alexis was struck by fear. That same day, he moved out and found a motel to stay in. In the end, he had to move back to his city, finding a house that he first vetted with a local exorcist. Julian was what most people would call a digital nomad. He had a 6-figure paying job and could work from anywhere in the world, so he decided to travel while working. After 2 months of staying in Bali, he decided it was time to move again. He wasn't sure where he was going, but he was certain he'd try a smaller city this time because the big cities always seemed crowded. Julian wanted some peace and quiet. He found a sleepy Swiss town called Coripio and decided to give it a try. When he got there, the town was exactly what he wanted, quiet. Julian worked from his Airbnb for a few days, but one day he decided to try out a cafe he had seen around. It was quiet and empty. There was no one in the cafe, absolutely no one, not even an attendant. Julian decided to dust off a chair and table and sat there. He worked until dusk, and there was no sign of anyone walking in or out. It was very strange, but Julian brushed it off. It was a small town of about 25 people, plus tourists, so it wasn't really a big deal. The next day, the same thing happened, and the next, and the next. Julian decided to take a walk around the cafe after a few days of inactivity. That was when this happened. He literally saw one of the chairs on the balcony move on its own. He freaked out, took a few steps back, and ran. When he got downstairs, he packed his stuff and left as quietly as he had entered. The next day, he talked to his tour guide about what had happened, but she laughed it off, saying that it was normal. The cafe had been owned by a local, and now his spirit took care of the place, even though he was dead. Roland with me is a well-known YouTuber and a paranormal investigator. He lives in Texas and had a few other apartments across the country. However, one day he found something odd in his trash can, an old, freaky doll. At first, Roland thought it was one of his paranormal friends trying to play a trick on him, so he just took the trash out as usual and threw the doll with it. A week later, just when his trash needed to be taken out again, he found the same doll sitting atop his trash. This time, Roland decided to be smart about it. He got some spray paint, marked the foot of the doll, and threw the trash away like nothing happened. A week later, he found the doll again. He checked its foot without touching it and saw the small pink stain from the spray paint. Roland almost freaked out, but he knew what to do. He was going to interrogate the doll.
On right here, look at this. That doll was just moving. That was legit moving. As soon as I started this app. Are you here near this doll? Are you attached to this doll, making things move in this house and outside? It said yes. How come you keep moving around? Shit. It's moving. Holy shit. Oh my gosh. All right. Are you done? Are you making this doll move? The doll is moving right now. Okay. All right, this doll is legit moving. Did you destroy my table? Shit. That is still moving. You're moving the doll right now, right? Do you want to go to Pennsylvania? Do you want to go to Pennsylvania, yes or no? No.
He used an app that could decipher white noise from spirits to get it to talk. After the interrogation, Roland was sure the doll was cursed. He wasn't exactly scared at that point because he had a thing for cursed dolls. They were his forte anyway. He knew to keep his camera on so he could analyze it later. Then, he went into his house and was about to get some of his stuff when this happened.
Pennsylvania. And my happy place? Totally destroyed. So now I got to deal with a broken happy place, and I don't even know what, what am I gonna... That just went from there to here. And for the skeptics, there are no strings attached. I believe it's got to be the doll in there. Because that doll right there, when I go near it, it moves away, right? And then over here, that's moving towards me. So what does that mean? You know what that means? That doll wants this to stay here. That staying here means that I'm not going anywhere with the doll. I'm getting in the car. I'm going to Pennsylvania. And that's just the way it is. I am not backing down. I'm not letting this try to control me. It's not happening. I got enough shit going on in my life. I don't need this to control me, so that's going back in the car. I don't care. That's just what's happening. I mean, this went all over the place. This back and forth, this moving by itself, everything moving all around. It's not scaring me. It's aggravating me. But yeah, let me get this.
The luggage he had packed that morning for a flight literally followed him. That meant something scary. The doll had access to his house. For context, Roland's house was a fortress, spiritually. He had enough crucifixes, salt, and potions to survive a full-blown vampire attack. However, if the doll could get in, that meant he wasn't dealing with just a doll. Roland's decided to do the one thing he was sure would keep him safe for a while: run. He picked up his stuff, got into his car, and drove to his nearest apartment in Kentucky. At least he would be safe there for now. The past few months had been one of grief for Erin. For the past few months, she had spent most of her days crying or sleeping. Erin had lost the most important person in her life, her dad. She was alone now in this world. She was the only child of her parents, and her mum had passed away years ago when she was still in high school. Now, her dad had joined her in heaven. Erin's dad dying was already tragic enough, but what was much more tragic was the way he had died. He had died in one of the strangest ways ever, a freak accident in his workshop that decapitated his right hand and left leg. It was horrific. Erin knew her father didn't deserve to die like that. He was a peaceful and loving man. After a few months, the funeral finally came around. Erin's extended family and a few friends came around to sympathize with her. She had quit her job a few weeks earlier so she could stay in her dad's house for a few weeks to reconnect after his passing. It was in those few weeks that a lot changed. She stuck around town and heard people talk about her dad in a strange way. They said he was a wizard of some sort. Others called him an exorcist, a mind reader, and countless other things. This was not the father she knew. Erin waved off all the weird talk and just decided to drown herself in her sorrow. Then, on one of the nights, something happened.
I need help. I took this video at like 2:30 this morning and I don't know what to do. Oh god, something's in the bathroom. There's no way something is not in the bathroom downstairs. So now it's almost 8 a.m. I'm not positive, but I have to imagine whatever it was is still in there. 1, what the heck could it be? 2, what do I do? Because I am not opening that door.
She heard some banging in the basement that housed the workshop where her father had died. She was scared to go check, so she just took a video and, after a few days, decided to show it to a local priest she had known all her life. It was then that the actual truth of who her father was came to light. He really was an exorcist and had worked with Father Aaron before to terminate spirits. He told her the home needed a cleansing. Erin couldn't believe her ears, but Father Aaron had sufficient proof and told her everything she needed to know. In the meantime, he offered her a room in the parsonage to stay. A day later, he performed the cleansing, and just when he was about to leave, he gave her a diary that her dad had kept while he was alive. It was in this book that Erin really got to know who her father truly was. Alex ran an orphanage for kids in Lyon, France. She had inherited it after her mother passed. Her mom didn't want it to end up being run by corrupt charities that would use it as a cash siphon. So she willed it to Alex so it would stay in the family. Alex loved kids, but somehow she had married a prick who didn't. Her husband Joey abandoned her after he found out she was pregnant, so she had to raise her 2-year-old son, Harry, and the kids at the orphanage as well. She had help in the person of Edward, an older man who helped her mum run the orphanage as well. The two had a lot of work cut out for them, but somehow they managed. One day, after a hard day at work, Alex was surprised to hear some banging in her trunk. She checked, and one of the kids, Jeremy, had been in her trunk all the while. It was late, and there was no way she could get him back to the orphanage that day. Jeremy ended up sleeping in her house that night, but that was when tragedy struck. Jeremy lost his life in Alex's house that night. In fact, when the police found out, she was arrested. The only way she got out was because they found CCTV footage of Jeremy entering the trunk by himself, and the autopsy showed Jeremy had had a heart attack. It was improbable for his age, but that was what the autopsy showed. After Alex got home that day, she started to realize strange things happening. Shaking windows, loud noises that she could not trace, and the like. The freakiest of her experiences was a cold summer night, the last straw that broke the camel's back.
Une putain de manette pour ce truc là, elle est où la manette? Elle est où la manette, putain? Ah putain.
She had heard a strange noise at her door that night and went out to check. She found her son's toy in front of her door, but the problem was her son had been asleep for more than an hour. She looked around and even checked up on him in his room. Then she remembered Jeremy. It kind of made sense now. The toys getting missing, the trunk moving on its own accord. Alex knew exactly what she needed: a cleansing. Her mother had it once when a child died on orphanage grounds. The very next morning, she talked to Edward, and they called Father Julius. He told them to leave the house for 2 days while he did his job. Alex took Harry to a friend's house for the 2 days. After that, all the paranormal activity stopped. Eliskar was supposed to spend a few days of his Christmas break with his child alone. His wife, Laurentia, had traveled to go see her parents for a few weeks, so that meant it was going to be just him and baby Camilla. He wasn't too bothered. He was up to the task. In fact, he was looking forward to doing all the stuff his wife had complained about. The first few days were a bit of a hassle. He had forgotten to change the diaper before bed. He had fed her too much at night, which meant she was up most of the night disturbing him. But after a few days, he found his flow and was able to do almost all the baby chores without having to call his wife. However, Eliskar realized one day that something wasn't exactly right. A few things had been missing from their places. They seemed to move slightly away from where he had kept them. Also, it seemed as if baby Camilla would sometimes trash up the house and get things all rattled up. She was too little to be able to do some of the thrashing, as it seemed. Things kept getting worse and worse until one day he caught this on camera while on a video call with his wife.
Escuche. Voy a ver que no haya nadie aquí en la casa. Que se supone que todos salieron de viaje. Hey, hey.
He had heard a noise in the background and had gone to check. He checked the bathroom and the guest room only to turn back and realize something tragic.
Hey, hey. Hey, mi bebé está allá. Mi bebé está allá adentro. ¿Qué pasó, mi amor? ¿Qué pasó? Vente, mi amor. Vente, bebé. Ya, mi amor. Ya, mi amor.
The door had been shut behind him, and he was having trouble getting in. He pushed and pushed, but it didn't budge. Then he said a mumbled prayer casting out demons, and it opened. Eliskar picked up baby Camilla and went through the house looking for any traces of paranormal activity.
¿Vieron eso? ¿Vieron eso? Solo lo vi. No, sí me tengo que llevar a mi bebé de aquí.
After that, he slowly backed out and left the building. He wasn't sure what was going on, but he didn't care. He wanted his baby safe. He found a family hotel and lodged for the night. The next morning, he took time out to think about what had happened and what the problem really was. And then it hit him. He and Laurentia had fired one of their nannies a few months back. She was an older lady in her late 70s. Elescar had seen her doing some weird prayer with a seemingly weird necklace while carrying baby Camilla. That was how they found out she actually practiced a bit of voodoo. The couple was not too happy about that and fired her. She cursed at them and told them she'd come for their baby, even in her death. Elescar called Laurentia, and they talked about the possibilities. After that, they called up the hiring company and inquired about their former employee. It turned out that she actually just died a few weeks back, right about the time Elescar had started noticing the paranormal activity. Laurentia's mom had heard the whole story and called up a priest friend of hers who she wanted to bless Camilla and protect her from the voodoo nanny. Father Phineas got to their city in a few days. He conducted the blessing and also cleansed the house. After that, all the paranormal activity stopped. This employee was doing her shift at her local convenience store and everything was running smoothly. She was in the process of restocking some out-of-stock shelves before the store opened to the public again, but little did she know that this would turn out to be a very difficult task. This chore was known by the employees as the easiest one around, and anybody given it was being let off the hook for the day. However, this time was much different, and the reason why was very peculiar. Take a look.
Vean, 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 vean. Ahí ya empezaron a abrirse. Vean, observen. Híjole. Vamos a tratar de no acercarnos, Jorgito, porque... Vean cómo se están abriendo las puertas. Vamos a ver de aquel lado. Ahí se ve cómo se están abriendo y cerrando. Toda la tarde he estado pasando esto, e inclusive ya hay gente que se dio cuenta, clientes. Y híjole, la verdad sí es un poco temeroso. Ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que, vean, ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que viniera a ver esto que está pasando. No me cree, pero digo, quedó de venir, hasta ahorita no ha venido. Y no nos hemos atrevido a ir a la parte de atrás en la cámara porque pues nos da un poco de temor, ¿no? Porque pues esto es algo sobre...
Somehow, the refrigerator doors took in turns opening and closing, which was an impossible event to happen without any human interaction. At least, that is what society deemed it to be, because it happened. Theorists suggest that a spirit was in the room doing this, and some more information given to us by the creator further backed up these claims. They explained that the room had a cold feeling to it immediately after the first door opened, and this is a common sign of a paranormal entity being present. Whatever they encountered that day was not nice, and they most certainly didn't want to see it in the store again. On a fateful winter night, two brave men ventured to their local graveyard to give their grandma's tombstone a visit. She had been gone for 3 years now, and this was what they called her death anniversary. In their family, they celebrated the lives of their passed away loved ones on the day they left, and it was a very wholesome and cool idea. Nothing had ever gone wrong while they hosted these days, and it seemed harmless, until their grandma came to give them a visit. At least they assumed it was her. I guess they'll never know for sure.
Entidad nos cierra esta puerta, miren lo que pasó.
Sí, se mira bien ahí va. Si estás aquí con nosotros, manifiéstate. Queremos verte. Queremos saber que estás aquí. Mira, guacho, güey, guacho. ¿Lo viste?
Sí, se cerró. ¿Estás aquí con nosotros?
Uy. ¿Quién eres? Se cerró la puerta, güey. Se acaba de cerrar la puerta, neta. Se miró bien clarito que se cerró. Mira. ¿Hay alguien aquí adentro?
¿Quieres jugar con nosotros?
Niño, ¿dónde estás?
¿Quieres jugar con nosotros?
Mira, güey. Mira.
Está moviendo más.
Güey, ¿qué? Se está moviendo, güey. No manches, güey, se está moviendo. Mira, pues no hay nada, güey. Mira, ay. Niño, ¿en qué parte te encuentras?
The fence surrounding their grandma's grave opened by itself, and then immediately closed, which freaked the duo out to an insane extent. At first, they were ready to turn around and make a run for it, but they decided to stay in case it truly was the spirit of their gran. For a few moments afterwards, peace was present and nothing really happened, but it didn't take long for strange noises to start playing around the yard. This phenomenon still cannot be explained to this day, and the duo are sure of themselves that they encountered their grandma. Again though, they'll never know. Roughly 3 years ago today, a young man who worked at the hospital captured a piece of footage that sent the hospital staff crazy. Alongside social media, the clip was so unexplainable that nobody knew what the next step should be, despite trying very hard to come up with a logical solution for it. It took place in Manzanillo Hospital, and the man who filmed the event was so frightened from it that he was dismissed as a doctor in that specific clinic and worked in a room on the first floor. Have a watch. Now, at first glance, it was very hard to determine what actually happened here, but after digging deeper, I found out for you guys, which is why you should subscribe. 14 seconds into the clip, the head of a human being, except faint and dull, peeped around at the doctor, and he was left standing in disbelief. At first, the hospital launched a full search for an intruder, but no one was found on site, and the mystery is still empty to this day. On October the 13th of 2023, Miguel was having the best day of his life. He had received so many good deeds on that day that he said he couldn't compare it to another day in his life, and it was by far his favorite, until a spirit came and ruined it all. Life was literally going perfect, and seemingly nothing was against him on this specific October 13th, but all of this was moments away from no longer being the reality. The start of this clip can easily be blamed on the wind, but trust me, it gets much more real as time goes on.
Son casi las 3 de la mañana. Escuché a alguien, pero literalmente llamándome. Acá. Ahí está. No sé si se escuchará. Literalmente creo que me llamaron por mi nombre. Yo estaba medio dormido. No les voy a mentir, me da miedo. Voy a tratar de captar. Es como mi método de defensa, ¿viste? Quiero ver si... Quiero ver si se ve algo, ¿no? Mira, esto que está acá me pasa siempre. Eso lo... ¿Qué pasó? Se hizo la concha. No sé si llega.
Andate, hijo de puta. Sos hijo de puta.
Despite the moving objects, Miguel wasn't completely convinced that something out of the ordinary was happening since there was a slight breeze in the air. However, seconds after making the decision in his head to go back inside, a tall, unnatural shadow figure stood right in front of him, and it was very intimidating. Using survival instincts, Miguel launched a pot at the figure, but it didn't move an inch. In fact, it went through and hit the shed door behind. It vanished shortly after, but Miguel couldn't unsee it and still can't to this day. These two Japanese men were approached by a real estate agent, offering them the deal of their lifetime. They put a pretty big house on the table for a fee way below average, and knowledgeably, the duo knew that something was fishy due to the deal being so unrealistic. They actually owned a YouTube channel titled Japanese Horror Entertainment and made a lot of their money exploring haunted locations, so they immediately thought of ghosts when questioning why the house was valued at such a low cost. They were right, and they were about to prove it through an investigation. It was roughly 3:30 in the morning when the upcoming clip was captured, and it was posted to their YouTube channel, which I mentioned earlier, Japanese Horror Entertainment. If you want to watch the full 20-minute experience, it's available on YouTube at OMG Film, and we're only covering a very small segment. At the door, an unsettling face could be seen squashing itself against the glass. Initially, the man stood there in silence and made sure to get a good shot of the face, but eventually he decided to walk towards it. Once he got close though, it vanished out of thin air. The following video was captured and uploaded to YouTube by a user deemed as Mr. Spouter, who doesn't usually record any paranormal videos. He had been living in the same house for over 5 years and had never experienced anything that he would consider to be strange or paranormal. As we all know though, trends and patterns always come to an end, and it was definitely the end of this one. It was 3 a.m. at night when it was filmed, and no one can explain it to this day. Take a look.
Banging then, something was banging. I'm talking to myself. Something was banging, like on my stairs. Dusty as fuck. I'm being a pussy. Go on, you fucking pussy. The fuck? Nib as well. What was that? What the fuck? fucking something there. What the
Now, during the clip, you couldn't actually see what happened to Mr. Spouter, but he made sure to explain it in a later upload. He claimed that something or someone pinched him as he was looking down the stairs, but to no surprise, he didn't convince anyone and was called a faker. Regardless though, that was only 50% of the video, and something much more convincing was showcased.
Freaking myself out, man. Fucking hell. Calm down. What the fuck was that? What's that? What the fuck? Something up there. What the What the
I can't quite decipher what the item was, but something slid across the cupboard by its own accord. This must have been impossible without any strings attached to it, but no matter how far we zoom in, nothing can be seen attached to it. This was 100% the act of a ghost, but feel free to argue against that in the comments. These two women were looking to sell their house and move into a new one, so they decided to go around the area in search of a one-floor cottage. In the clip, you're about to be exposed to the duo searching an old house that was very cheap on the market, but would take some upgrading. Fortunately, they both enjoyed decorating and transforming houses though, so it would have been no problem if they actually followed through with the purchase. Why didn't they? Well, have a watch and find out for yourself.
Mesmo sem querer vir. Olha, tá vendo aí, ó. Faz tempo. Misericórdia. Ai, pera ainda. Eu vi. Mulher, que foi isso, pelo amor de Deus? Tava balançando aí. Ô, Tico. Ai. Olha. Ui. Mulher. Olha. Misericórdia ali, ó. Eita, meu Jesus. Eu vou dizer um negócio, viu? Olha. Eu vou dizer a tu. Eu tô toda arrupiada. O que foi aquilo, mulher? Tu viu?
Understandably, the duo sprinted out of the house as quickly as they possibly could and confirmed that they were not going to be buying the cottage. When the owner asked them why this was the case, they showed him the video and he was genuinely in shock. The house had never seen anything like that in the past, and he apologized for putting it on the market in that state. They accepted this apology and left. If you were to visit a haunted house, what would be the last room you would consider visiting? Let me know in the comments, but I know that there is only one correct answer to such a question: the basement. The basement is known for being the epicenter of paranormal activity in most places because it is so tucked away. The majority of haunted videos come from this type of room, and that statistic keeps on becoming stronger, fortified by the following video. It was taken at 10 p.m. and the filmer, Joshua, heard noises coming from the basement whilst he was tucking his daughter into her bed. He was brave. He went to investigate.
Hello? I'm gonna turn on the light. All right? Hello? Hello? No. Okay. I heard something. Nothing? Is anyone there? Whoa, Jesus!
Weirdly, the closet slid across the floor by itself, and it was clear that nothing triggered this. The fact it was clear helped that conclusion come around. However, there was no concrete evidence that this was the case. It just kind of made sense, so the family stuck with it. Due to this, they couldn't get anyone to come and try to get rid of the ghost because there was no real evidence of one being there, at least not during that current moment. A few days later, at the exact same time, which was already odd enough, Joshua heard more noises from down in the basement whilst he was upstairs and decided to take a look again. This time, he filmed something much more severe.
The following footage was recorded after hearing voices from upstairs. Please be advised the images that you see may be disturbing.
I heard some noises again. Hello? No way. No!
Let's watch that again, here, and slow it down. Here is a close-up image of the figure that was seen walking across the doorway at the bottom of the stairs. This image can still not be explained.
It doesn't even take a zoom in to notice that there was a shadow figure walking past the door, clearly trying to freak Joshua out. It succeeded if that was its mission. After seeing this, he locked the door to the basement with a padlock and wooden barriers before finally contacting the church to come and help. This was the last update we were given. Lamine, a young boy in college known for sharing his name with soccer player Lamine Yamal, was left home alone by his parents one night as they wanted to go to a hotel and have some alone time. They had been talking about having another child for quite some time, and Lamine really wanted a brother, so he was happy that this was finally going to come about. Little did any of them know, though, that this would turn out to be the creepiest night of Lamie's life so far. It was 4 a.m. when this video was captured, and he had been woken up by the noise of a rattling door. Lamine was in fear because perhaps burglars were taking advantage of his parents not being home. However, after what was about to happen, he was wishing that that was the actual case.
Estaba jugando a la PC. Si escuchan, literalmente me estaban golpeando la puerta. Me están golpeando la puerta, mejor dicho. Miren, no hay nadie del otro lado. No hay nadie del otro lado. Tengo las luces prendidas como me dijeron, tengo todo ahora. Pero quiero que vean que acá no hay nadie. Tengo todo, absolutamente. Grabé del otro lado y todo.
After opening the door, he found that nobody was on the other side, and when he decided to just go and play on his PC until his parents came home, he heard a bang. Understandably, for his young age, he ran to his bedroom and hid under the covers until he fell fast asleep. His parents arrived home the next day, and nothing similar happened since. Security cameras are a useful device set up in most buildings across the globe. They excel in deterring thieves and criminals in general from doing things that they shouldn't, because if they do, it'll all be on camera, and hence it becomes easy to bust them. There is one type of species that is not intimidated by the presence of these cameras, though, and it happens to be the creatures from the paranormal world. Ghosts live in no fear of security cameras because they are invisible and don't pay the consequences even if they do get caught in the act. The one in the following video definitely took advantage of this.
Titek már megint mi történt a mai live alatt? Konkrétan a kutya fél órán át valamit ugatott a nappaliba, egy árnyat, konkrétan vissza kellett nézni a lakásban a kamerákat, hogy mi az Isten volt, nézzétek meg ti is, nagyon para, azóta Zafi be van fosva. Már konkrétan több mint fél éve érzékeljük ezeket a szellemjárásokat, és fogalmam sincs, hogy mit csináljunk. Nagyon para, srácok.
At first, you could see the dog barking at utter nothingness, which left everybody in a state of confusion. However, just moments after a shadow glided across the room and the chair moved by itself, very spooky indeed. After reviewing this footage, the woman, Sienna, refused to believe that it was a ghost and got on with life like nothing happened at all. She would regret this very soon though. Over the next few days, not much happened, other than the fact the entrance to one of her storage areas fell off down the stairs. This was strange in itself, because it was screwed on very well, but Sienna didn't pick up on the oddness about it. She spoke to her boyfriend and asked him if he could fix it for her, but he said she should take a look inside first. For all they knew, there could have been a squatter making the place their home, and they didn't want to deal with anything like that. Listening to her boyfriend, Sienna took her phone camera and investigated. What she found was definitely unexpected.
És az esett le ide?
Igen, az ott volt lent.
Hát ilyen szervizelagút szerintem.
Ja, de ilyen több is van a lakásban.
A szobába is.
Meg a madaras szobába is van.
Le tudsz szedni, vagy?
Nagyon hideg jön, de nem látok be. Szerintem fel kell emelj.
Magassan van. Lerakom a kamerát, ezt felemelek. Na mi van ott? De látszik? Látszik sem. Lakik ott benne valaki, tudod. Az mi? Az micsoda? Ez fel van akasztva, ennyi.
Az egy papa.
És látszik valami.
Itt is van egy, de ezt nem tudjuk kinyitni. A stúdióban is van egy ilyen pici ajtó.
For some very odd reason, 3 sticks were hung by string at the entrance, and the last time they entered, there was nothing like this. Something of that sort cannot happen naturally, so someone must have tied them together. The real question beckoning their minds now was who. There was only one way to find the answer to such an open-ended question though. The couple had to be brave and enter the secret room together to give it a proper search. They grabbed a torch and their phones before clambering into the tiny hole. This is what happened inside.
Vettünk 2 zseblámpát, hogy lássunk a járatba, és azt mondtátok, hogy nem mozdítsuk el a Voodoo papát, úgyhogy ahhoz nem fogunk hozzányúlni. Én nem akarok előre menni.
Akkor megyek én előtte meg, ezt mögöttem és világítasz. Akkor nem érünk hozzá.
Csak óvatosan.
Yes? Itt van valami előttünk.
Itt el tudunk menni?
Szerintem, ja. De vigyázz a tiszta pókáló minden. Nagyon szűk a hely. Aha. Mi volt ez?
Nézd oda, annyira hideg van, hogy látszik a leheletem.
Azt a kurva.
Úristen, mi az ott? Világíts gyorsan oda.
Hol?
Ott.
Many.
Te mozza még itt van.
Nem tudom, hogy ti láttátok-e a videón, de volt ott valaki. És a voodoo babát sehol sem találtuk. Mióta kijöttünk, Zafi folyamatosan ugatja a járatot.
Strangely, a pale-looking object dashed into cover once they pointed their flashlight on it. Unfortunately, it wasn't visible for long enough to uncover what it was, but be my guest and let everyone know in the comments if you think you have an answer. Making things even more unsettling, the dog would continuously bark at the entrance night and day, which made things difficult. Sleeping at night was very hard, and enjoying the daytime was even worsely barricaded. Not as badly as the entrance to the secret room though. After realizing that something was living in there, the boyfriend took his hammer and some wooden planks and shut the door tight, making sure that even if a human was on the other side, it wouldn't be able to break itself free. This plan backfired horrendously though, and here's why. Somehow, the spirit managed to escape the room and cause havoc all around the household, which confirmed to the couple that they were indeed being haunted by something. This had never happened to them before, and they had no idea how to react to it, and they still don't to this day. On March 24th of 2024, a Spanish native called Danny was relaxing in his living room. He had just made himself some dinner and was eating it on the sofa whilst watching TV. However, he wasn't going to be allowed to enjoy this perfect moment for very long.
Siguen los sonidos en mi casa muy extraños. ¿Qué coño? ¡Oh! ¡Vale! ¡Joder, tío! Están viendo, Lo estoy documentando todo. Esto va peor. Joder, tío. Esto es la... ¡Ay!
Strangely, the white chair slid on its own accord, and it was very clear that no strings were attached to the object. As well as this, Danny lived by himself since he broke up with his girlfriend, meaning that no one else was in the building with him that night. In response to the chair, he decided to give it to his friend Alvaro, who took it in a heartbeat because he just moved into an apartment after university. The chair hasn't acted up whilst in his apartment yet, leading Danny to believe that the spirit must have been attached to his house rather than the object. Previously on this channel, we've looked into the haunted life of Jorge Luis, a father of two who loved his family to pieces. In the particular video we're discussing today, he was in the kitchen on the phone with his wife, preparing lunch for her and the children's arrival. Suddenly though, the atmosphere grew cold and a sense of emptiness overcame him. He knew that something was wrong but didn't act upon it just in case it triggered his spirit that he had been dealing with for so long to do something. Little did Jorge know that it would act anyway.
Oh, I don't know. Well, you have asked me if everything was going good. And I have told you about, it's okay, but it's just like the vibe here is not normal. I don't like it. It's like a big dark. Yeah, I don't fucking know. Like, oh, you remember that? Like the light of the bedroom? That thing was just like, yeah, for no reason I was just turning on by itself and on and off, yeah. Yeah. Pa, llama.
In an aggressive manner, the baby chair launched across the room towards Jorge, and he was taken very aback by this. He quickly sprinted out of the house and got into his car to go and pick up his family so that he didn't have to deal with the rubbish for any longer. Jorge's ghost has been with him and for years now, and it's very likely you'll hear his name on this channel again. Another person's life we've looked into on this channel is Donna Ayres, and her story is actually quite a sad one. Throughout her life, she had multiple children who all catered for her very well in adulthood, but in the year leading up to the sudden haunting of her house, both her husband and her father died. It was an extremely tough time for Donna, but she was tough and powered through it. It didn't help that one of these past relatives decided to stay by her side though.
Hey guys, just come in and I've just put the camera straight onto the chandelier because it moved. And it was just before I took the picture of the cross on the wall where I don't even know why that shadow's there. But the thought of the Lord watching over me is a good thing. But it did move, and that's why I'm just stood here now. Please, can you do it? No. What the fuck? That's not me, is it, with the camera? Wow. Hang on, guys, I'm just going to get a better view because this is amazing. I'm just going to turn the light up a bit as well. Wow. If that's you, please move it again. That is moving. Oh my god, that is moving. Oh, thank you. Wow. That is amazing. There's a couple of little kind of white specks what I'm seeing on the camera here, but that's just the light I think shining off. That's not orbs or anything. But that chandelier is moving. Going crazy. There's nothing even there. What the? I'm sorry if that's come through. But it just did beep for a message. Wow. And if anybody's wondering, the lines on the roof that you can see there, these two lines here, they're the reflection of the chain there. There is nothing, there's nothing there. This is all happening around me. And I just capture it as it goes. I'm not used to it now. Check it out. That is amazing. Well, if that's you, Pop, thank you. Oh. Is that you, Dad? Yeah. Oh, no, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. If it is you, Pops, then thank you for letting me know you're here. I don't know what the dark feeling is though that I get every time you're about, because I never got that when you were here. just mesmerised. If you guys capture anything around what's going on here, please leave comments and let me know, because obviously I can't see very well. Wow. I'm absolutely mesmerised. How is this possible? Seriously, it just boggles my mind. Well, I'll tell you what, spirits are real. I know that. Oh yeah. That's you, innit, Dad? Wow, it just goes mental every time I say it. Wow. I don't know if you guys caught that light, but there was a big bang then, and there's no one above me or below me. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, thank you very much for that. Thank you so much. And I don't know if that was you that was banging, but I'm going to upload now and have a listen and see what I've got with that. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
In an unexplainable fashion, the chandelier started moving around by itself, and all of the windows were closed, so it couldn't have possibly been anything to do with the wind. On top of this, once Donna asked if it was her father doing this, the lights started going crazy, which lines up with the video we looked at in a former video. Every instance that Donna asks if the spirit is her father, it goes wild. It doesn't take a genius to connect those dots. The ghost was most definitely that of her deceased dad, and she sees this as both a positive and a negative. At first glance, the presence of him made and still makes Donna feel uncomfortable and cold. However, at least she knows that he will always be with her in her heart. In the following video, a man was walking through the streets of Spain late at night when he came across something that he would have never anticipated. He had been to the local bar with a ton of his mates, but got a call from his girlfriend saying she wanted him home early, so he had to leave by himself at around 11 p.m. The first 5 minutes were extremely relaxing and calm. No cars, no people, and no noise. However, there was something else roaming the streets.
Estoy caminando por la calle, ¿ve? Y estoy llegando a mi casa. Y ven el árbol, ven allá. ¿Lo ven? Acá. Ahí en el medio.
If we zoom in closely at the 6-second timestamp, a very faint shadow figure becomes visible for a split second. Now this was very spooky, and the man, Kareem, was stumped. Unfortunately though, this was only the beginning of a horrible saga.
Hay como una figura oscura. Me llamó muchísimo la atención de la cuadra anterior que lo veía. A ver, vamos a acercar. Mi casa está acá a la vuelta. No hay nada. No sé.
That scream made Kareem jump out of his skin, and I'm sure it made you do the same. Comment if it did or not. Kareem sprinted away from the tree as fast as he could and turned many corners. His town was a dodgy one, and he didn't want to take any chances with getting caught by a gang at that time. He ran and he ran, until eventually he was lost.
Estoy sintiendo hace un rato ruido acá atrás. Y no sé qué mierda es. O esto es re oscuro. Ey, hola. Ey. Concha de tu madre. Qué carajo es eso? Ah, una sombra y uff, veo cosas por todos lados. Este es un cuarto, una casa, la casa de acá atrás es como un cuarto de que guardamos cosas, pero estoy sintiendo como un golpeteo. Bueno, no, nada. Ey, puta madre. Todo el tiempo ruido, todo el tiempo ruido. No.
The abandoned building he came across was full of spooky noises and had a very chilly feeling to it. It was the last place that anybody in Kareem's situation would have wanted to end up at. He had already found himself there though, so there was nothing to lose. After a few minutes of hyping himself up and plucking up the courage, he went inside.
¿Se escucha el ruido? Acá está la habitación de mi hija. Puta madre. Ey. Uy, se siente re fría esta habitación. ¿Qué carajo? El ruido viene de acá adentro, me parece. Concha de tu madre, la concha de tu madre. Otra vez, ¿ves? Ruido acá adentro. ¿Qué onda?
Immediately after entering the building, he found the room of a supposed child called Rebecca, and the sheer amount of shivers Kareem received upon entering was quote-unquote indescribable. Whilst in the room he could hear the crying of a little girl, the music of a toy, and all of the items started to move by themselves. It wasn't looking too good for him. Once he heard the girl crying, though he was able to piece together the puzzle and understand that Rebecca was the one who was haunting him that night. But the question of why still remained. He stopped recording on his phone and tried to message his girlfriend to see if she could get in the car and come to pick him up. Unfortunately though, he decided to look at the top of the screen and something very harsh hit him. The abandoned house had no service whatsoever. This is when he sat down with himself and made the bravest decision of his entire life. His goal was to find out why this random little girl was tormenting him. With a mission set, he was ready. Similarly to last time, he was led back to the girls' room rather than any other, which leads me to believe that she couldn't leave it after entering. The return of the laughter also hit Kareem, but none of these aspects were on the same level as what he saw when he opened the drawer, the same bear as earlier, and Kareem explained that the aura it had was off the charts, an aura of despair and evil, and just like last time, it turned the lights off and screamed, but this wasn't the end of Kareem's problems. In the next video on this channel, he will have a second appearance and things get much worse. If any of you have learned one fact from this channel, it's that basements are the most common place for our clips to happen in. They are seemingly the perfect locations for evil to brew, and nobody actually knows why. The following video took place in the basement, and is probably one of the weirdest videos we've looked at. The way in which the spirit was triggered was very unique, and I doubt we'll see anything like it ever again.
So, obviously, we've had this ghost for a while. Yeah, we've tried sage. We've tried all that. That's why we kind of made a joke out of it. But, based on all of your advice, I have taken a couple of items that I've inherited from my family's 60-year business in Mexico. And I've inherited a lot of stuff, so one by one, I've been sticking a couple of things in this box in the basement. Now, when my wife said that she whistled today, and she heard something in the basement, so... dude. I'm not really sure if I should... Ooh. We've been stacking up these boxes for the kids to sit and play with. Oh, jeez. No. We'll go down, take a look at what that is tomorrow.
For some peculiar reason, the spirit in question was triggered using the sound of a whistle, which understandably baffled the family living through it. As well as this, as if one cardboard box wasn't terrifying enough for the man, the ghost decided to launch a full stack of them at him, which, while not dangerous, was still showing its true power. What made things even weirder was that the family never experienced anything paranormal again, and this was only a one-day thing. Weird on another level. Spirits are a lot more common than you think, with new paranormal sightings being uploaded to the internet every single day. It's quite terrifying, actually. However, one method that they use which isn't so common is possession. And in the following video, this extremely rare phenomenon was caught on camera. The duo were using something called a K2 meter, which was meant to detect the movement of ghosts in the room and make noise to be sure that the owners knew. The one in this video was going rogue, and they very quickly found out why.
We have captured one of the most scariest videos ever today. I'm still a bit shaken. This is what my dad's camera caught of my reaction. Dad? Dad? Oh my god. Dad? Dad! Yeah! And this is what my camera caught of my dad. You cold. You roasting? What are you on about?
Got a headache as well. Got a really bad one for once. Freezing. Oh, really chilly.
I'm roasting. What?
Yeah, head.
You alright? Dad? 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 Oh my god. Dad? Dad?
The head.
What are you doing? What have you done that? Why have you just shouted that at me?
I shouted, stop shouting, I've got a headache.
Oh my god, what are you doing?
I haven't shouted.
Yes you have, you just shouted get out.
I haven't.
And your face looks so different.
Out of nowhere, the man's eyes started rolling and his face started to look very different. His daughter started beckoning him to speak, but he was just sitting there blankly, not a single word exiting his mouth. That was until he lashed out. Unsurprisingly, the sheer aggression from her father made the daughter terrified, and she didn't really know how to respond to it. At least she found out that it wasn't actually him, which is arguably a better scenario in terms of their relationship. Fishing is an activity practiced for many reasons. Some people do it in the wild for survival, needing the fresh meat that the sea creatures require to survive. On the other hand, people simply do it as a leisure activity, finding fun in catching what they can and then releasing them back in the water to continue their life. In the video you are about to watch, the man was out catching fish for fun when something extremely disturbing happened upon arrival back to his base camp. The area had a toilet block, which was unisex and public to any people passing by. This is why the man was so concerned once he heard what he did coming from inside.
Yo, what the What the? Bro. There's nobody in here. Yo!
Strangely, the sound of a human, seemingly a female, screaming echoed around the base camp, and this was very disturbing. Being the brave man the fisher was though, he decided to enter the bathroom in case someone genuinely needed help. This was when he found nobody though. Graveyards are the most likely places in the world for someone to experience paranormal activity, and this is why they are such spooky locations at nighttime. Wandering around these places gives off an eerie feeling, and it is understandable why considering how many dead people lie underneath you. The following video was captured in a graveyard and showcases one of the rare scenarios where a ghost was caught in the act on camera. Take a look.
Espíritu, alguna entidad, algún demonio de este lugar, quiero que me hagas un ruido y estás aquí conmigo. Solamente queremos ahí te encuentras con nosotros. Te estoy invocando y estás aquí conmigo. Solamente quiero saber que estás aquí conmigo. Ay, ya madre, no mames, no mames. Uy, oh madre, no manches, no manches, no manches, no manches, no manches, no manches. No manches, no manches, no manches. Uy, oh madre. Uy, yo sé que te encuentras aquí. Yo sé que te encuentras en este lugar, queremos verte. Yo sé que te encuentras aquí. Ay, me dio miedo. Solamente queremos saber quién eres, qué es lo que necesitas. ¿Qué es lo que necesitas? Vieron, amigos, vieron.
Weirdly, the door opened on its own accord, and after revealing what was behind it, things got even scarier. Nothing. The fact that there was nothing visible in the area meant that something from the dead side of the world was tampering with the man that night, and it's safe to say he didn't enjoy it. These two women were getting ready to leave the house, but little did they know what was about to happen if they followed through. They had both been invited to their friend's 40th birthday party and had spent the entire morning getting ready for the event. They did their makeup, purchased new dresses, and even went as far as buying a very expensive present. It was undoubtedly going to be an amazing night, at least until they checked the cameras afterwards. Just as they left the room to leave for the party, they got a notification for movement in their room and decided to leave it and look later. Thank the Lord they did. Somehow, an item moved by itself the second they left, and they still haven't found out why to this day. The ashes of loved ones are often kept by families to always remember those who passed away. When someone dies, they have the option to be cremated or buried, and they make this choice prior to death. If they choose to be cremated, then the family has the option to keep hold of the ashes from the burning, and the owner of the upcoming Airbnb did this. He decided to place the ashes on the piano because she always loved to play it at night, but the guests of the Airbnb far from loved it. Confused? Watch the clip.
Okay, I usually do not, or I never have believed in like haunted stuff, okay? But I'm out at Skinny Atlas Lake, the Fingers Lakes in upstate New York. And the Airbnb I'm staying at, the guy did say, just FYI, we do have people say that they hear a piano play at night. And I thought it was bullshit. And I swear to God, I've heard it. It plays. There's nobody fucking in here. I'm going to walk over here. So in case I die, I have a documentation of it, okay? It's an old house. It's on a beautiful lake, though. But I did find out the guy who owns the place, daughter died in a car wreck. And her ashes are on the piano. God, I get chills. But that's the piano. And it plays at night. And it freaks me out. I have chill bumps just being in this room. I do not get a good vibe. But it's scary as shit.
Supposedly, the piano started playing at night, and the story is believable considering how dark the piano was, looming in the shadows. However, some people need to see it to believe it, and the creator of this video posted a second, actually capturing the piano on camera whilst it played. Undeniable proof.
I'm fucking telling you, this place is fucking haunted. Do you heard that?
Yeah, I can't do this shit. It's so scary.
No, you go in there with me.
Yes. You have to go first.
Stay behind me. Fuck you. It fucking keeps playing, I swear. No, dude, I'm not going up in that bitch. It's this piano. I swear to God it is. No, dude, you got me fucked up. If I die, I swear. I will. Oh, shit! Dude, no.
After the two men argued for a moment over who would go first, they eventually went into the room and nothing happened, but not for long. A singular note was played on the piano, and they were both sent running to the local bar to drink their fear away. It took them 3 hours to return. On November 16th of 2013, Marcus, a young man, was in his apartment with his roommate when one of the weirdest things of his life happened. It was getting late, and he and Johnny, the roommate, decided they would go to sleep so they had enough energy for their early lecture the next day. They brushed their teeth, washed their faces, and followed their regular routines before going to their beds. This is the exact moment that the apartment suddenly filled with cold.
Rato que escuché algo, ¿viste? Uy. Uy, no, voy a prender la luz. Uy, a ver algo en el baño, el vaso. Uy, chamo. Ronnie, parate, chamo. Hey. Ronnie. Uy, la luz. Chamo, parate. ¡Ey, Ronnie! ¡Ay! ¡Ay, chamo! ¡Uy! ¡Chamo! ¡Chamo, parate!
For some unknown reason, the door to the closet moved in Marcus's room, and he didn't know how to react other than beckoning for his roommate's assistance. Moments after ending the recording, Johnny stormed into the room, and all of a sudden the feeling of coldness left the household. Marcus still vividly remembers the event to this day, and always tells it as a story. Children's songs can be the most wholesome things on the planet. They educate kids on all sorts of things, and help them develop in general, serving the same purpose as children's stories. However, in some scenarios, these heartwarming tunes can turn into gut-wrenching nightmares and make things extremely demented. You see, at night, when there is nobody around, all these songs do is add to the eerie feeling that a ghost is hovering around the area, and in the following video, this was most definitely the case.
No, 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 no. No. No, no, no. No, 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 no puede ser. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. ¿A qué? ¿Me vas a comer? No, 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 me vas a comer. Me vas a comer bien la pija, ¿sabes? Ya paranormal. Yo huevo, Ahí va. Tuki, Ahí va. Ahí va. Ahí está. Perfecto. Ahí está. Actividad paranormal. La verga. No, chupame.
Disturbingly, the vehicle started playing the popular song Baby Shark, except it wasn't the same as usual. It made the room cold and tormented the victim so much that he was forced to put it outside. This is when things escalated to the next level and the door started knocking. He needed to stop recording and fueling the creature. He explained afterwards that the knocking continued for a good 17 minutes before coming to a halt, and he was given peace for the rest of the night. To his daughter's dismay though, he threw the vehicle into the trash, but made it up to her by purchasing a new one the next week. All he could do was hope that it wouldn't also be haunted. After purchasing the new bike for his daughter, things went fine for a solid week. He became so convinced that the house had no spirits in it that he finally turned off the air purifier, which he believed would help them. Little did he know that this was the worst mistake of his life, because just 3 hours after doing this act, all hell broke loose.
Estaba escuchando unos ruidos que venían de la pieza acá. ¿Qué mierda esto? Siempre tiene que pasar a la noche, hermano. Siempre tiene que pasar a la noche, brother. ¿Vos qué onda? ¿Vas a hablar ahora vos? ¿Vas a hablar? No vas a hablar, no vas a hablar. No sé la verdad, ¿qué decir? Mirá, escúchame. Punto número uno. Si vos pensás que me va a asustar cerrando y abriendo puertita, me podés comer bien los huevos, ¿tá? Punto 2. Si te gusta abrir y cerrar puertita, me podés limpiar los platos, barrer un poquito, ¿sí? Y punto 3, me voy a dormir y te vas a dejar de romper las pelotas, ¿estamos? Nada, es increíble. Bueno, bienvenidos a mi sitcom.
Out of nowhere, he couldn't find his daughter and searched the entire house for her. It was after checking her room, though, that the door slammed shut and he was taken very aback due to nobody being in there while he searched it. What made things even stranger is that the father decided to go to his ex house to see if she visited her, but she wasn't there. It was when he arrived home that his daughter was laying on her bed, like nothing happened in the first place. It was the morning of the solar eclipse, and the following family were really excited to see it. They were quite a young family compared to other ones, and the children especially weren't able to recall an eclipse happening in their lifetime. This called for some big hype towards the event, and they woke up very early out of excitement. I bet they regretted this though, because little did any of them know that the eldest child, Justin, was going to encounter a spirit that day. If you listen closely, you can hear a voice asking how Justin found it, but we don't know what it was yet, and neither did Justin. He ran upstairs to his mother's room, who decided to post the footage to social media and explain what happened publicly so that everyone could understand the story. And it was a very creepy story time, to say the least.
Where he dropped his noodles, he ran upstairs, came busting in my room, jumping all over my bed, hiding in the corner, screaming and hollering, saying he didn't want to die. Somebody was in the house, telling me to get mine because somebody was in the house. And I'm like trying to tell him to calm down, be quiet, so I can hear what he's saying. Like, nobody's in the house. I kept telling him, nobody's in the house, like, calm down. What is wrong? What happened? But like, he kept yelling, and I'm like, calm down. So then I call my dad, and I'm like, Dad, man saying somebody in the house, he won't get out of my room so that I can get them out the closet so I could figure stuff out, and he would not move. We started hearing footsteps. I mean, big, heavy feet coming up the steps. So like now at this point, I'm terrified. I throw my robe on. I push him into the room with his brothers. I started coming down the steps with nothing in my hands. At this point, I'm just thinking I'm going to have to knock somebody backwards up the steps and just do what I got to do at this point because I got 5 kids in here. So I come down the steps. I'm like, I'm going to get my hammer because my hammer is normally in my closet, but I know it's downstairs.
Fortunately, after going down the stairs to check what was coming up, the mother found nothing at all, and she was very confused. Was this the act of a spirit? Let me know what you think in the comments. On September 10th of 2022, Celsa, a 26-year-old mother of 2, decided to send her oldest daughter to get some cleaning supplies. She had drawn all over her bedroom door, and Celsa was far from impressed with her, so it was only right that the daughter went and got the items necessary. However, after finding out what happened once she went down there, I bet Celsa would have done it herself in a heartbeat.
Mom! Where is it? Okay. Oh, it's right here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Mom! The door is open again! Oh my god!
Strangely, the drawer opened itself right in front of the camera, which took the young girl by surprise. She quickly turned back on herself and ran to her mother, who comforted her straight away. They had experienced many things over the past week, so they started to notice that it was becoming a common pattern. The family didn't like to publicize too much though, so decided to leave the story there. We can only pray that they are now doing well. These 2 cafe workers were the last in the building and were designated the task to close. Closing took a while there because there were several things that needed to be turned off and a lot of seating that needed bringing inside, so the crew took it in turns every day. The night before, Stephen, the manager of the store, claimed that he saw a shadow in the corridor and that he was too frightened to close that night, despite it being his turn. He offered the duo in the video an extra $50 if they took the task, and expectedly, they did. I doubt they would have if they knew what happened on the next page of their story, though.
Okay, guys. Oh, I fucking didn't start. We're gonna mess with the ghost tonight. I just wanted to update my TikTok and Instagram people. So I just started TikTok again. We're gonna do some, like, I don't know, I don't want to call it summoning, but we're gonna see what we can do tonight and mess with some ghosties. Yeah! Some ghosties. Manifesting, we're gonna have an experience. Okay. Strong. Yeah. So this has been going on for the last 15 minutes. We were talking to the spirit, and I guess we gave it too much energy, and now things are getting worse. She thinks I'm somehow messing with her, but we are so behind on closing. Like, we have to still clean so much stuff. No. And they just won't stop. Like, the spirits won't give us a break right now. Oh, never mind. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I'm literally out of breath. I'm so nervous right now. Okay, so this is what we deal with here at Swirls. It's currently 11:18 and we're still not home. And okay, there was a sound right there, and I guarantee I just saw a shadow. I hope I caught that. Okay. See? I don't get it. Is there a reason that you're doing this right now?
Dude, the light switch is here. Like,
okay.
Right?
Yeah, this is our main panel.
Okay, it stopped.
Okay, chill. Okay, so this is what I... No way. Bro, like, I just caught that literally right in front of me. I literally just caught that in front of me. No one is here. Okay, come to the front now. Come on. Yeah, you... Okay. See, this is what I don't like. I hear footsteps from the attic right now. I'm literally still hearing it.
I literally just saw a shadow.
A shadow where?
By the wall.
What's going on? Okay, now music's on. I don't understand this. I really don't. Oh my god. 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 Okay, we need to get the lights on. Please come with me. Please come with me. Please go to the switch. Go to the main panel. Just go to the main panel. Okay, turn them on. Turn them on. Turn them on.
Items all around them in the storage room started to fall, and it got to the point where it was genuinely dangerous. As they were running out, the woman screamed, and we didn't actually get to see why. However, we were told in a later piece of content. Apparently a mirror launched off the wall directly at her, but she was able to duck in time, making things even weirder, though it didn't smash, despite such a high drop. It defied physics, and nobody knows how to this day. Moving to a new house can be both exciting and stressful. The excitement comes from the anticipation of a new life elsewhere, but the nerves can often conquer that feeling. How safe will the area be? Will my kid make friends? What if the house isn't as nice as we thought? They are just 3 stressful thoughts that fill the minds of new house purchasers. In the upcoming video, though, it was none of these factors that put them off. It was something much worse. The child was aged 3 years old and was well past the age of stumbling while doing something as simple as launching leaves. As well as this, the motion of which he collapsed was very unnatural and wouldn't have happened because of anything else other than a shove. This video was the one that drew the line for the mother, and she decided that the family would be moving houses just 7 months after moving in. And you can't really blame her for that decision. And the husband didn't either. They followed through with her decision and moved from the rural house to a more urban one, where they felt safer with people all around them. The busy roads and streets made sure that they always had humans nearby who could help if something went wrong. God forbid that they actually needed it. They settled into the new house much faster than the old one and felt truly at home. But little did they know that their old friend got into the car with them. Unlike last time, the spirit didn't try to harm the child, but seemingly tapped him, or something along those lines. The kid quickly turned round in response to the sudden contact, but there was no one other than his mother, who was 5 feet away. This was the last known footage of what we will call the shover incident, but if anything else comes up, I'll make sure to include it in a future video. Subscribe so you don't risk missing it. In the following video, a plumber by the name of Corbin Finn was hired to investigate an old urgent care building for leakages. The company who owned the building closed down before the Texas freeze for an unpublicized reason, but that was the least of Corbin's concerns. He was being paid by another company, a restaurant chain to be specific, to come and fix any leaks that were causing the facility to flood. They were very interested in opening a franchise in that location, so wanted it in top-notch condition as quickly as they possibly could. They clearly needed to find a ghost hunter first, though, because what Corbin came across was completely unexplainable for someone who knew nothing about spirits.
All right, I'm working in a old urgent care that just got shut down. It got shut down before the freeze here in Texas. I'm not sure why it closed down, but it's pretty spooky. I'm supposed to be looking for a leak in here. This bathroom, creepy hallway. Real spooky place. Another bathroom. This is a second two-story building. This used to be the elevator shaft right here. I guess we're taking the stairs. I guess meditation class used to be upstairs. Had to put your shoes in this little cubby. After some further investigation, there's no one else in this building. I fucking heard someone go down those stairs, though. So, I guess this was the meditation room. There's a lot of natural lighting in here. Probably don't need the flashlight right now. Here's the top of the elevator shaft. You can't fucking see anything down there. So, here's the meditation room. Kind of looks like the fucking back rooms. It looks very culty. There's a stage up here. It looks like a couple of altars next to them. Creepy. Okay, now I'm getting the fuck out of here. That was it.
It doesn't take high-level ears to detect the noises that Corbin heard whilst he was in the building, specifically the one in the meditation room. After this spooky experience, he ran out of the site and called the restaurant manager to tell them he wouldn't go in again until they had a ghost hunter scan the place. Since ghost hunters cost a lot of money though, the chain rejected the proposal and decided to find a better plumber, which they did. The franchise is currently in the same location and running strongly with no paranormal captures. Dogs, along with cats, are known for several things that humans all love. They are cute, they are cuddly, and they are the perfect domestic animals. But they also have one more feature, which is considered to be highly subjective. They can see, or at least sense, a paranormal presence. Everyone knows that these creatures have much better senses than humans, so it does make sense that they can spot light patterns that we can't. That is the reason why so many people truly believe that they can see these spirits. Regardless of what you believe or not though, this video is very disturbing and really freaked out the woman behind the camera. She claimed that she had never felt so uncomfortable in a room with her beloved dog, and she hoped to never feel that way near him again. Take a look.
Bruh. What do you see? Oh my god. What? Girl? You're gonna get me scared.
The dog became very stiff, which is a sign of discomfort and stress. It was also looking down on something, presumably trying to maintain the higher ground. A very strange sequence of actions for a dog to take when there was seemingly no threat in the room. Let me know what you gather from this clip in the comments, but my beliefs won't change. There was definitely a poltergeist in the bedroom. This man was innocently showing off his new fish to the internet when an uninvited guest decided to take a first-hand look. The man, Thomas, had purchased 4 fish and put them all into a tank to try and educate his children on how to look after things. He gave them both jobs to do with maintaining the pets and hoped they would do them well to keep the sea creatures alive. But they didn't even go 10 minutes without a big problem happening. Take a look.
Alright guys, got some new fish. Pretty big tank as well. There's currently 2 black ones, 2 gold ones. I've called them Goldie number 2, a black one, and if you guys have any suggestions for names that... What the f... What the f...
Now at first, it was very hard to visualize what went wrong in this video, but since you're watching Haunter, it will slow down for you. There were fingers on the other end of the tank, and once Thomas acknowledged them, they slipped back behind the door. Instinctively, he decided to go and search the house to find out who it was, but to his dismay, no one barring him was home. Later that day, just 20 minutes before the wife and kids were scheduled to come back home, Thomas was watching television when this spirit decided to make a second appearance of the night. It may have been less severe, but it further made him freaked out by his own home. Have a watch.
Alright guys, so I just thought I'd record a video. I'm home alone. I've been hearing like occasional like banging noises every few days. It's quite late at night, it's like about 1 AM now. I heard a couple of sort of banging. Sometimes it sounds like footsteps, like in the last 10 minutes. Sorry, my camera, by the way, keeps defocusing. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I just thought I'd record to just try and like catch any. Fucking hell, man.
The loud echo of footsteps started ringing around the house, and Thomas was left absolutely stumped as to what caused it. He beckoned his audience to let him know in the comments, and I do the same to you. Make sure to comment what you think caused it, and like whilst you're down there, so more people can see Thomas's story. The following video took place on March 12th of 2014 and featured a young man in his apartment. He had taken residence in this apartment 2 years ago and planned on calling it home throughout his entire time at university. However, little did he know that one event would happen that would put him off the place forever and frighten him from ever visiting again. After the metal box fell, the activity stopped, and the man was left sitting there in utter confusion. He had no idea what on earth just happened, and would not be able to explain it if you paid him to do so. This event was so concerning to him, though, that he contacted the owner of the apartments and let him know that he would no longer be paying rent, and the place would be vacated within a week. He then proceeded to take residence at his grandma's. Children are the most innocent forms of human on the planet, and it really needs to stay this way. When they are exposed to frightening things such as gore or the paranormal world, it can have a very concerning effect on them, and this happened to the child in the next clip. His name was Thomas, and both his parents and daycare workers referred to him as a little angel. He never did anything wrong and was the perfect child, but little did any of them know what he was about to go through. It was 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and Thomas was messing around with his new toys. He had no idea that he was the one who was about to be messed with.
One. Which one? The orange one. And the green one. Come on up. Daddy. D-I-A-M-E-N. I just done.
Somehow the bowl slid itself across the table without any human interaction, and it was very clear that no strings or affecting items were in contact with it. Fortunately, the bowl managed to knock something over, otherwise the parents would have never noticed and would not have checked the cameras for this footage. Now, after releasing this video, it surprisingly received a lot of hate, with the audience claiming that it did not look real in the slightest. The mother of Thomas, on the other hand, was not going to take these claims lightly, so released another video featuring her son in the same location. This time around, a lot more movement happened on the tabletop, as well as a bang coming from the door. In the last clip, Thomas was not able to realize what was going on, so everything was fine. But in this one he did, and he was traumatized to say the least. For the following nights he struggled to get any rest, and was permitted to stay absent from his school by his mother. Due to a lack of updates, we do not know if the boy eventually got over the incident, but all we can do is hope. Now most of the clips that I showcase on this channel are fairly complex and need some analyzing to truly understand what went on. The upcoming video, however, is nothing like that and features some of the most basic paranormal activity out there, but this came in a humongous quantity. So much haunted stuff happened within such a short time period that even I struggled to keep up with things, and I bet you will too. Take a look. All sorts of items started moving in the same room, but there was one specific incident which I wanted to zoom in on for you guys, and I am going to do it. Roughly 23 seconds into the clip, a dark item could be seen gliding across the camera, and I would like to take the obvious assumption that it was the figure of a ghost. Feel free to make your own mind up on what it was in the comments though. Now that was spooky enough for the owners of that house, but what if I told you that on the exact same day they captured something else that was arguably just as terrifying? After witnessing the catastrophe in the other room, they took it upon themselves to check every single camera in the building to try and figure out what caused the incident, but all that they found were more incidents. In this room, a clock started going crazy, and surprisingly, this turned out to be quite a promising lead as to who this spirit belonged to. The owner of the house's father had passed away a couple of years back, and he was a clockmaker. What made this so important was that the clock on the door was actually created by him, so it made sense why he would fiddle with it.